Okay, welcome back to the ride slash channel slash whatever we're calling this damn thing. So I'm going to talk about, and I did promise in the last video that I'll talk about this, whether it makes the cut or not, I don't know. We're going to talk about levels of consciousness. And again, I'm not giving away any Masonic secrets here. This stuff is not taught in Freemasonry, although it is Freemasonry. Kind of sort of, whoa, he would flatten me. Glad I didn't go too fast around that corner. Maybe I should go a little bit slower around things. I did not see that dude till the last minute. Okay, I digress. What are we talking about again? I don't know why I'm asking you, I can't hear you. Stop talking to the TV! We're going to talk about the 4 levels of consciousness. Now this is something, I have written a book on it. It's called The Gentle Ascent, 7 Levels of Consciousness. I've written a few books. Mainly, I mean, my work that I do, I'm not going to get into, but psychology of people is very important in what I do. It's sort of in the investigation space. No, I'm not a government investigator. But psychology is very important, and that took me down a path of really having to understand people in order to do my job. And the Gnostic teachings that I've studied, and Freemasonry and all this other stuff, that's where I get the information from to write said books. So 2 sort of main ones that relate to what I'm about to talk about is You Are Not Your Thoughts and The Gentle Ascent. The Gentle Ascent more so because then I'm talking about the 7 levels of consciousness. Today we're going to be talking about 4 of them. Am I allowed to go further? Good. Yep. Sorry? Okay, yeah. I came around the corner and saw the steamroller. Yeah. Oh, he's a big boy. I didn't see him till the last second. Yeah, right. But no, it's all good. All right. I'm just going to go down there and turn around anyway.
Yeah, copy.
Yeah, cool. Have fun. All right. Okay, we're back. Sorry. All right. So we're going to talk about we're going to talk about 4, the first 4 levels of consciousness, because they are important, and you can translate that to Freemasonry. You can translate that to your everyday life. So bear with me, we will get there. Well, I'll talk about from a spiritual point of view, and then I'll talk about how that sort of translates into your everyday life if you're getting a new job and stuff like that. So we'll go through a few different ways to explain it. The first 4 levels are the most important. Once you hit level 4, you're well on your path to level 5 and above. Level 1. That's definitely where majority of people are at. And that's not an insult. If you're in a higher level of consciousness, it doesn't mean you're better than other people. Well, you are, but it doesn't mean you're better than other people, right? And if you are at a higher level of consciousness, you will know that. Level 1, just imagine someone full of just a big ball of heart attack waiting to happen. Anxiety, anger, fear, all these things, they're just a big ball of it, right? That's level 1. You're so scared, you're so full of anxiety, you don't know what to do. And that's unfortunately a lot of people in the world. And if I don't think I'm allowed to say that word because we're still censored on that word, but the events of the early 2020s just caused so much anxiety and fear amongst people. They were too scared to go out. They were too scared to do anything, talk to anyone, and it divided people. That's probably the biggest thing we got out of it, was it divided people. And finally, people are starting to unite again after that. But we're not going to go into that topic. It's just a big ball of fear and anxiety. You're scared of everything. You're worried about everything. What if? That's level 1. Level 2. Actually, let me explain level 1 in a different context. Imagine you get a new job. So you've got a brand new job. You're you get a brand new job. You're new. It's a new industry. You know nothing about it. You're going to be in fear of losing your job, right? So everything you do, you think you're being monitored on. You're going to lose your job. Every corner you take, you think, oh, I'm going to lose my job here. You're worried. That's another way to look at level 1. From a spirituality point of view, your nervous system is so entangled with your emotions. And that's really what you've got to change. This is why we have the saying knee-jerk reaction. Your emotions are tied to your nervous system. Stop it. This is so archaic and it's hard to get out of, I know. But this is back in the day and it was essential, right? You imagine us living in caves and you hear a twig break, a twig snap or something outside the cave. You're naturally going to go, oh, that could be danger. You need that knee-jerk reaction to survive, to be on guard, ready to protect yourself and your family. We don't live in caves anymore. You still need some common sense. But if a twig breaks, do you have a dog? Do you have someone, a kid playing in the backyard? Nowadays, I'd like to think it's a bit more safe than it used to be when you were living in caves with big dangerous animals that want to kill you and tribes that want to kill you living next door. So that's the benefit of having your emotions entwined to your nervous system. We don't need that as much nowadays. So we need to step away from that. And level 1, they are just so wound up, man. Just like you are when you get a new job in a new industry. You're cautious, you're scared, you're worried, you're concerned, you're not doing something right, you're double checking. You need that reassurance in everything you're doing just to make sure you're doing a good job out of fear of losing your job. That's level 1. Level 2, well, it's a level where people sort of start to believe that they are their successes and their failures. When they fail, it hits them hard. When they succeed, it hits them hard in a good way. They believe they're successes and failures. It's like having a job and after 3 months, you're pretty good at it. You might get a little bit cocky and you might have to get put back in your place a little bit. But that's level 2. You still connected. You still have your nervous system connected to your emotions, but you do get a little bit of a break from that. And then you've got level 3, which is it's a different kettle of fish. You're essentially still in level 2 from a nervous system point of view. In your nervous system connected to your emotions, but you realize there's something else. And this is generally happening when something, for some people it's a life-changing event. It could be a death in a family or friend. It could be a life-altering event of some sort. It could just be that you're sick and tired of your 9-to-5 job and you start thinking, well, what do I really want to do? And you start looking, what else is going on in the world? There's something more. Now, the trap in level 3, and let's put this in the Masonic sense, right? Because the trap in level 3 from a Masonic point of view is real, man. When you join Freemasonry, you're exposed to the ritual. You're exposed to all these ancient symbols and meanings and words and sayings and all this kind of stuff. And so you're just like, wow, there's a lot more out there. And you start researching everything. What's the meaning of this symbol? What's the meaning of this word? What's the meaning of this? And you're absorbing as much information as you can. You want to find everything. Where did this come from? Like when you're in a job, you've gotten good at the job and you start thinking, there's a better way of doing this. Surely there's a faster way. Surely there's a better way. Maybe there's better products in the market. And you start researching everything. You're just trying to consume as much knowledge as you can, as much information as you can. You watch YouTube videos, you read books, you go to different places, hobby groups or whatever, to get as much information as you can, additional information as you can. And that's the trap, because information is just information, it's data. And data is useless unless you've got a way to use that, which is called wisdom. So a lot of people, when they get to level 3, they realize there's this whole big world out there. There's a different way of viewing things and looking at things, and just a completely different world. And they get excited and they research everything. And they go more and more and more into it. And from a Masonic sense, it's like, oh, cool, another symbol, another symbol. And then after a while, you're like, yeah, great, another symbol. Whoop-de-frickin-do. Why do I care about this other symbol? And this is where people make they get to a fork in the road. They might revert back to level 2 because it's easier, or they might go, why are these in existence? What do they actually mean to me? How can I convert this into wisdom? How do I apply it? And that's when you start moving into level 4. So level 4 is you're aware, you're most definitely aware, of your connection between your emotions and your nervous system. And you're actively trying to separate or sever that tie, I should say. So instead of someone cutting you off, let's use that as an example. You're driving along and someone cuts you off. Well, level 1 and level 2, you're going to honk the horn, flip the bird, and call them every name of the sun, get your body nice and hot because you're so angry, and it's probably going to ruin your day. Level 4, well, you'll start to think. You'll go, well, you don't know what's going on in that person's life. They could have cut you off because their partner's about to have a baby. They're trying to get to hospital. Their partner might be about to die, and they're trying to get to hospital to say goodbye to them. They could have been unemployed for a long period of time, and they're on the way to a job interview that could change their life, actually put food on the table at the end of the week, and they're level 1, level 2, full of anxiety and fear. They want to get there. They're worried about failure. You don't know what's going on in their life. They could just be a jerk. You don't know that. So why get angry? Why honk the horn? Why give them the one finger salute? Why ruin your day over it? There's no point. You're going to wake up in the morning and be a good person. They're going to wake up and be a jerk still. If they were doing it just for being a jerk, right? Doesn't affect you. So there's no need to worry about it. That's the thought process of level 4. You're actively trying to do it. You're going to have slip-ups. Someone's going to cut you off and you're going to flip in the bird. It happens. We're human. But you're aware of it, and it happens less and less and less. And that's wisdom. That's applying knowledge, converting it to wisdom. Applied knowledge. So that's level 4. When different events happen in your life, you know how to handle it. You know how to handle it, and you'll actively try to apply, and sometimes succeed in applying, that methodology to be a better person. It's a healthier way of living. It's a different way of looking at things. And to be honest, if you had a car accident on the way to work, right? Someone just rammed up your bum. Why should you let that ruin your day? The accident took all of a second. Call your insurance. They arrange a tow truck to come out. You might be delayed for an hour. What do you do? The world's not going to end because you're late to work for an hour, right? If your boss is being a jerk and you've told them you had a car accident and they say, well, you're going to be late, you're going to get penalised for that, instead of saying, are you okay? Your boss is a jerk, it's probably a sign to move on, right? So that's level 4. Just think about things differently. The insurance agency, they're the ones that have the problem, not you. You pay them to deal with that crap so you don't have to stress about it. You're just late to work for an hour, and hopefully you are okay. If you're not okay, well, it's probably ruined your day. But if you're fine and you're not injured in any way, shape or form, and you're just inconvenienced by an hour, what'll be will be. Secret to level 4. What'll be will be. That doesn't mean you just give up and let shit happen. No. You are in control of your destiny. You control how you react. You can control what happens in your life. Because if you have a negative view on absolutely everything, everything's negative. Positive way of looking at the car accident is someone rammed you up the arse. Maybe your car's getting a little bit old and you wanted a new one anyway. Something happens for a reason. I'm a believer of that. I'm not a blind believer of it, but things happen for a reason. So run with it. See where it takes you. See what happens. Pay your insurance so you don't have to deal with that stuff. That's level 4. Separate your emotions from your nervous system. Don't have those knee-jerk reactions. When you feel anger, when you sense anger arising, building up within you, stop. Imagine the word anger going across your vision line of sight, your vision or whatever. Imagine the word and analyze it. Why am I feeling angry? Are you feeling angry because the person that's talking to you is angry? You've upset them. They're really upset about something and they're angry and they're shouting at you and they're being mean to you. There's no need for you to be angry. They're angry. Let them have that anger. You need to be analysing, why are they angry? Did I do something? Have I been a douche? Why is that person angry? And then you can understand, okay, well, they're angry because of X, Y, Z. Was it something I did? No, they're just venting on me because they're having a bad day. Okay. You know how to handle it. There's no need to get angry about it. I'm not saying there's no need for anger. There's probably need for anger. It's the same as, for let's just say you're being attacked. Level 4 doesn't mean because someone's attacking you, you're stopping and analysing, why is this person attacking me? Why are they stabbing me? No, that doesn't mean that at all. That anger's good in that situation, right? You're going to defend yourself. It doesn't mean you have to tolerate crap. It just means you need to understand where people are coming from and the environment that you're in and the emotions that you're feeling before you react. And that's really what's happening in level 4. Level 5, you're sort of more of a master of that. You're still going to have some slips and pullbacks into the previous level, but it happens less and less and less the more you actively try to apply it. So that's the first 4 levels of the 7 levels of consciousness. It applies from a Masonic sense, and in Freemasonry, we're trying to get you up there. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get you up to the higher levels of consciousness. We're trying to pull you from level 1 up into at least level 4 or 5. Honestly, before you join another order in Freemasonry, you should be at level 4. If you're not at level 4, there's no point joining another order, because it's just going to be more information. If you're at level 3, all you're doing is getting information and you're not applying it. You're not ready for it. It's the first degree in itself. There's a lot of information, and it's nearly impossible to apply all that wisdom that we teach you, all that knowledge that we teach you in Freemasonry in the first degree. It's impossible to apply that to your life, all of it to your life, before you do your second degree or before you do your third degree. So spend some time mastering the first 3 degrees before you start looking at other orders. Improve yourself. Convert that knowledge into wisdom. Then go have a look at some of the other orders. Why not? There's some interesting stuff out there. But the real journey is within, not without. It's not how many jewels you've got hanging off of your Eton jacket. It's not about the title you may have. It's not about any of that kind of stuff. It's about the internal journey that you take. And it's applying that information we teach you as wisdom. So anyway, that's the first 4 levels of the 7 levels of consciousness. I didn't go through the other ones because I'm trying to hide them from you at all. It's just because we only really need to talk about the first 4. They're the most important, because that's where all the real work is, or really hard work is. Once you get over that hump and you're into level 4, keep at it. The others, they follow suit. You just sort of drop into it. There's no straight line or separator or border between those levels of consciousness. They sort of fade or blend into each other. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully it made sense. If it didn't make sense, well, it goes along with probably half the stuff on this channel anyway. There is a lot of content on the Masonica website. It is all free. There is no payment required if you want to jump onto Masonica and read some of the lectures I've written or some of the content on there. There's a lot of old content on there. Plato, The Republic, that book. There's a number of other books on there you can get access to. Just reach out the same way you would if you're going to visit, which means your secretary would reach out. I need to verify who you are and that you are a Mason, and then I can give you access to it. There is some publicly available content on there, some basic stuff, but still might be of interest to you. We do have a Masonic Gnostic study group that we're starting out. We've already got a few people interested in it. We're just trying to sort of figure out dates and location. It's probably going to be maybe 8 Mile Plains if we can get permission to rent the lodge room there, or it'll be another Masonic lodge that we go to, and if we can't get one of those, we'll find a venue. But if you're interested, go to the Masonica website and fill out the form and just say that you're interested in the Gnostic Masons study group. We're not a lodge, so we're not an official lodge under United Grand Lodge of Queensland. We don't have a charter or anything like that. We're a study group, but you do have to be a Freemason to join that study group, because we are talking about some Masonic stuff, but it's more the Gnostic side of it. So if you're hungry for the true meaning of Freemasonry and more Masonic teaching, come along. You're welcome. Have fun. Go to the Masonica website, fill out the contact form, let me know. I'll reach out to you, we'll have a bit of a chat and organise scheduling for the study group. We're looking to do it probably every month. We'll just sort of work out availabilities for everyone. Alright, take care until the next video. Have fun, stay safe. Man, I can't speak English. Stay safe, enjoy Lodge, read the ritual. Have fun. See you guys.